that we were living in the UK, and Melanie was in the hospital for like a week. When Melanie came out of the hospital, for some reason, I guess a journalist or something said, look, it looks like she has bruises on her, right? And people ran with a story that I had put her in the hospital for abuse. Now, this is the farthest thing from the truth. I'm gonna tell you why she's in the hospital in a second, but I definitely had nothing to do with it of why she was in the hospital. But the problem is that I was mad at Melanie and have the recordings of talking to her and saying, Melanie, why are you letting people beat me down and think that I'm abusive? Because you don't want them to know why you were really in the hospital. So Melanie was in the hospital because she had a drug overdose. Had nothing to do with me. That was Melanie doing her cocaine, Melanie doing her drugs. She was in there for 7 days. If you beat someone up and they're in the hospital for 7 days, you're talking about, I mean, listen, MMA fighters fight.
You're going to jail. There's other things going, you know what I mean?
As soon as the person hits the hospital by law, every hospital pretty much in the US and the UK for sure, in those two places, when someone comes in with physical things on them, there has to be a report. This is guaranteed. So she came in with no bruises, no nothing. She came in there and she was in there because her kidney and liver and a bunch of other things were failing her. There's MMA fighters that beat the shit out of each other, and they're not in the hospital for 7 days. 7 days is like your liver's done.
You're heavily abusing drugs or whatever substances that you're doing.
No, I'm saying if you beat the person and they're in there for 7 days, you're talking black, you're talking like fractured this. I mean, 7 days is a long time in the hospital. So she would not admit to her going in for a drug overdose. Now, this is where it screwed me up. Cut to when it was our divorce, Melanie says in our divorce that I beat her within an inch of her life. That's why she was in the hospital. This is in her, but this is what she said. I beat her to within an inch of her life. That's why she was in the hospital for 7 days. This is our the final time we're getting divorced. All of a sudden, in the middle of everything, she realizes, oh my God, I can't prove that. So then she writes in her book and then starts saying, I was so depressed that he was beating me, I tried to commit suicide by taking drugs. Not one person said to her, Melanie, you just said he beat you within an inch of your life to go into, and this is, you're not with him. You're not scared of him. You're talking so much shit about him. Why are you saying that he beat you, and now all of a sudden you were beaten up so bad through life that you tried to kill yourself? It was like she would just switch up at any moment and no one cares. No one cares. It's the best carte blanche.